During my time with Occupy DC, I couldn't help but to notice that Occupy had a very specific target. But in going after this very specific target, that's affecting everything. They did not bring into any question what happens with Child Protective Services, what happens to us who are affected by legal kidnapping. It's not been an issue. I really never understood why. Um, to this day, I don't understand why. If we're saying that a system exists in which the government gets richer um, by doing really underhanded things, how are we not seeing that the government is getting rich off other means, like our disabled children and adults, by taking them? There's something I never understood in the District of Columbia. I never once understood why the Disabilities Administration refused to give the needed support and help to parents who had children with challenging behaviors. Why their first line of defense or quote unquote support was always to remove the child or adult. I heard, and I guess I forgot, about this mandatory commitment that they do when a child reaches adulthood. Why are we not vocally complaining against that? I truly do not understand it. If we're saying that the system is getting rich off of us all, is this not another area where they're getting rich off us? Not only getting rich off us, but destroying families. In the meantime, why isn't there some outcry against that? I feel like I'm beating a horse that's probably been dead for some time, because I've asked these same questions over and over and over and over again and have never gotten a true, rational reason why there is so little support. Occupy does a lot of things and does a lot of screaming about what's happening to the middle class, what's happening to the poor. But how can you truly look yourselves in the face and see the destruction that's happening to families, that's happening and victimizing children and adults who do have special needs, that is destroying families, and not become involved? How can we take Occupy or any social justice community or movement seriously when they don't also address that? Indigenous people have long had their children removed, and were good reasons for that, particularly with the settlers, and then those who continue to do it. Why? We don't like your ways as Native people. We want you to do what we do. Why do they do this to a lot of black people? Kind of goes the same thing, same way. We do not want you taking any real power in being black people. We don't want you doing any digging into a culture that we have attempted to annihilate. Therefore, if we nip it in the bud by taking your children, you can't pass it along, can you? The same ugliness happens over and over and over again. And you hear none of the activists who fight global change, climate justice, who fight against the huge industries. You find none of them actually making any kind of complaints against this stuff. However, it exists, and they know it exists. I, as an activist, never did understand it. how can you even begin to address what happens to POCs, people of color, and our children when you are refusing to look into how they are continually being stolen from their homes, stolen from their families? How can you look yourself in the faces and saying we're doing some good when that's the one area you have traditionally avoided?